Hello everybody, how are you doing? Okay, so today I have an interesting story. So I drew a funny picture, but I don't know if I want to show it, okay? So maybe I'll show it from afar today, okay? So give me a minute, let's see how it works, because sometimes I draw funny pictures. This one I don't really want to show too much. So what happened was I was reading Proverbs, and if you know me or know my style of Bible reading, when I'm reading the Bible and I see something, sometimes I want to see the picture of what I'm reading, okay? So this is me reading Proverbs. So I'm at Proverbs 10, and so I'm at Proverbs 10:11, okay? And I see the mouth of the righteous is a well of life. For some reason, I wanted to see it. The reason why is because it says, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. So I don't know if I want to show you my picture. I don't know if it's a funny picture. The reason why I don't want to show it because I drew a whirlwind, but the whirlwind looks kind of funny. So I don't really want to show you my picture, okay? But okay, so start the picture. The mouth of the righteous is a well of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. So in my little picture, it has like the mouth of a righteous person, and then they're speaking, and then I have a picture of a well drawn, okay? And I guess it's supposed to, like, water's supposed to be good for you, okay? But violence covers the mouth of the wicked. So I drew tape over the mouth of the wicked person, I guess because whatever they were talking about was so bad, you have to like cover their lips with tape. So I think I'm just being kind of funny with the word today. Really, I wanted to start a conversation because as I was studying Proverbs, I noticed something. Okay, so today I was having a little discourse as I was praying, thinking things out, and I was like, well, what is wisdom without love is really what I was wondering, okay? But sometimes it gets frustrating because sometimes it's easy to be wise. You can read this Bible. You can read this Bible and say, okay, well, I'm wise. I read the Bible. But if you have wisdom without love, sometimes it's tricky because sometimes when you make personal relationship decisions or whatever else, and you're using wisdom, like man's wisdom, but you're not using love to figure out who do you belong with, who belongs with you, you know, family relationships, whatever that might be, including. Sometimes if you forget about love, you might make the wrong decision because sometimes we as humans, we can become too pharisaical, right? So I did a message about pharisaical love. Sometimes we say, well, I want everything to be perfect. Sometimes we start off with perfection. So today I was like lecturing as I was like about to pray to myself. So I'm sorting out my thoughts. And so I realized sometimes we go from perfectionism to pharisaical wisdom. And then sometimes that pharisaical wisdom without love, it makes us, it depends on how you see it, but it can make us foolish, okay? And sometimes we can make decisions that on the surface look good, but without love included, you don't see the real picture of who people are, who you belong with, okay? So I was just kind of studying and kind of seeing how these things are interrelated, okay? So first I was thinking about things that make people a good person versus things that make a bad person. So this is a two-sided video. Just my thoughts on what make people good or bad, and then proverbs of wise people versus wicked people, okay? So it's wicked people versus righteous people, and then you have, I think it's kind of the same thing. Let me make sure I say it correctly. Wisdom versus foolishness, and then somebody who's wicked versus someone who's righteous. So I kind of wanted to take note, and so I'm going to probably play around with the word a little bit and explain it to you, okay? So I'm just going to first describe what is a good person. Like if you want to know how do we become good as opposed to how do we become pharisaical, maybe I'll do that in the end. So let me first talk about wisdom. So I said the mouth of the righteous is a well of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. So the righteous is going to uplift you. A righteous person is not going to be a person who's nitpicking in your ear and finding fault and complaining day and night, okay? Under that, Proverbs 10:12, it says, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sin. So if you want to be perfectionistic, you can complain about this isn't perfect, that isn't perfect, and that's being perfectionistic. But then love says, but does it have a purpose, right? You could say what? So just different ways how we look at life. Sometimes people can complain whether their cup is half full or half empty. But if you were hungry, I think you would hope it was half full, or thirsty so that at least you would have something, okay? So wisdom is found on the lips of him who has understanding, but a rod is for the back of him who is devoid of understanding. These are just random thoughts from Proverbs. Wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Okay? So, when it comes to the mouth of the wicked or the foolish, it's kind of similar. And it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of... So, the mouth of the foolish, they use it to slander. They use it to hurt other people in other ways, not just slander, but, make you feel self-conscious or whatever else, make you feel like you're not good enough. The mouth of the foolish may get angry with you quickly or do something rashly or impulsively that has long-term negative effects. Okay? Let me see. I'm just going to throw out random righteous versus wicked, foolish versus wise. Okay? The labor of the righteous leads to life. The wages of the wicked to sin. So a righteous person, when they do things, they're either helping their family to be sustained, their household to be sustained, them interpersonally being sustained, or socially, okay? But the wages of the wicked lead to sin. Like when we betray each other, when we create pits for each other to fall into. This is, the wages, the repercussions of us using our time and our energy and our life to do evil to other people, to hurt other people. It's not going to be a good, consequence or repercussion of that, okay? So let me see. I'm going to keep... Okay, so chapter 10, verse 19 of Proverbs. In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise, okay? When I was growing up, I learned this, like, if I talk too much, especially if you have weird luck, if you talk too much, sometimes you're creating more traps for yourself to fall into, because sometimes say little, and then there are little repercussions if things don't work out the way you expect. So, say for instance, some people might say, I'll meet up with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Some people may say, as the Adonai willeth, so it'll be. So when tomorrow comes, we might see. So sometimes it's when you say less, maybe perhaps you're blessing yourself so you don't put yourself in harm's way of not being able to fulfill whatever you desire to do. Okay? And so it says, in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. Okay? So it doesn't mean you don't have to talk, but it's saying, thinking about what you're saying is probably wise. Verse 20, the tongue of the righteous is choice silver. But then here it says, the heart of the wicked is worth little. It's not that it's worth little, it's that the heart of the wicked might be, so controversial, bring so much drama, maybe people want to stay away from it. The lips of the righteous feed many. So it sounds like the mouth of the righteous is a well of life, okay? What is your mouth producing? Is it producing life? Or is it just complaining and finding fault with other people? Because our conscience is helping us to see what we're doing wrong so we can do better. But some people use their consciences to keep correcting other people when the other person isn't even in their jurisdiction, like they're not over that person in any way, shape, or form. They're just bored and focusing their attention on finding fault with someone else, okay? So let me see. Okay, so this one I wanted to draw a picture. It's kind of funny. So I would almost show you my picture, but I just don't want to. I shouldn't have drawn the whirlwind. So, okay. So to do evil is like sport to a fool. So in order for me to draw the sport, I didn't know what to draw. So I just drew like a basketball hoop and a ball, because I didn't know what type of sport it was. But to do evil is like a sport. So if you spend your day trying to figure out how to make somebody miserable, if you spend your day trying to figure out how to plot against your enemies, but your enemies aren't really bad people, then that's what it's explaining. It's saying that, I don't know, you're creating a game of making people's lives miserable, and that's not good. But a man of understanding has wisdom. So the wisdom of a man of understanding, they wouldn't try to do evil for fun, on purpose, or to do it constantly, continually. Okay? The fear of the wicked will come upon him, and the desire of the righteous will be granted. So a man of understanding wouldn't try to do evil like a sport, because they would fear the repercussions of doing that. They wouldn't want to do that. And so, let's see. So the whirlwind is kind of where I messed up the picture. So my picture didn't go too far from verse 11 of chapter 10 of Proverbs all the way to about verse 25. But I did do a little bit more, and then it starts switching gears from righteous to foolishness to probably wicked and upright. Okay. So anyway, let me see. When the whirlwind passes by, the wicked is no more. So I tried to draw a whirlwind. I'd almost show you my picture, but like I said, I'm embarrassed by the whirlwind. Because I don't know if I was bored, so I was just randomly scrabbling. So I don't want to show you the picture. When the whirlwind passes by, the wicked is no more. Now, we're not talking about a literal whirlwind probably, but it's just describing. So this is Proverbs of Solomon. Okay, so just things that Solomon might have noticed. So maybe he would have noticed something happened maybe in his literal sense, and maybe he wrote it. Maybe Proverbs is his diary or his journal that he kept, and we just happened to find some of his words of wisdom. Okay, but it says, but the righteous has an everlasting foundation. Maybe that's what he saw in his days as king. Like he says, like scandal comes up and then the wicked is gone away. But the righteous, they stick around in my kingdom. They stick around as officers, appointed officials in my kingdom. But he will see maybe the wicked maybe didn't last for very long. There's the scandal that brought them in, maybe the same scandal that brought them out. And maybe that's something that Solomon noticed, okay? So let me see. In verse 27 it says, the fear of the Adonai prolongs days, but the years of the wicked will be shortened. Okay? So as I stated, it started to shift gears from wisdom and foolishness to wickedness. So, and I kind of noticed that when I was drawing the picture. So I was like, hold on, wait. It's talking about foolishness up here, but then at the bottom it's talking about wickedness. So I had to kind of separate it. Okay? So Proverbs is a nice book for you to read because it's going to give you a basis on what is good versus what's not good. What's going to give you blessings? Because wisdom makes you blessing. So, blessed. Proverbs 10:22, the blessing of the Adonai maketh one rich. He adds no sorrow with it, okay? This is the beautiful thing about reading your Bible. You'll find wisdom so you don't have to go through the school of hard knocks to figure out certain things, okay? So, let me jump over here. I'm just going to read a little bit more to you, okay? So, let's see. Verse 30, the righteous will never be removed, but the wicked will not inhabit the earth, okay? It's foretelling what's going to happen, is that the righteous, the meek, shall inherit the earth, but then the ways of the wicked won't be able to last continually. They won't continue to produce the same thing they produced in the past when they were successful. Verse 31, the mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut out. So remember, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. So maybe the wicked has a perverse tongue, and maybe that's why I drew tape over the mouth of the wicked with violence covering it, okay? Be careful what you say. So verse 32, the lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked knows what is perverse. So so when you go through your teenage years and you don't know whether you want to be a good person or a bad person, and maybe a curse word slips or something like that, even a bad thought, a perverse thought, because you're going through puberty. If you're reading Proverbs, it will help to keep you in line so that you won't do the wrong thing, so you won't fill your mind with wrong thoughts and then go out there and do wrong things, okay? Let me see. So, let me see. Chapter 11 of Proverbs, verse 2. When pride comes, then comes shame, but with the humble is wisdom. So remember, the meek shall inherit the earth, but the wise also shall not be removed, okay? So the wise are humble, okay? The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them. So perversity and wickedness may go hand in hand. So watch what you say, watch what you think. Okay, let's see. Verse 5 of chapter 11. The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright. Okay, so if you want to walk in an upright way, you've been reading your Proverbs, maybe your Psalms, and you're saying, teach me the righteous way. Because if you read Proverbs, you're going to kind of learn a little bit about being a righteous person or walking with wisdom, okay? So, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. Okay, that's verse 5. The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright. Okay, so if you want to do the right thing, you're going to study to show yourself approved. You're going to learn from your elders. You're going to seek out books of wisdom so you can do the right thing. Okay, and then you're going to try to walk blamelessly. So that's why it's beautiful if your young people are reading the book of Proverbs, okay? But it says, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. So as you continue to do evil, eventually you may get caught, okay? The righteousness of the upright will deliver them, but the unfaithful will be taken over by their own lust, okay? So unfaithfulness, lust, perversity, wickedness, okay? Those are all kind of walking hands in hand, okay? Okay, so I'm going to probably say maybe one more thing. The righteous is delivered from trouble, verse 8, and it comes to the wicked instead. That's interesting, okay? So maybe I want to get out of this. There's a whole lot more in Proverbs, but I was just maybe barely in one chapter, barely in another chapter, okay? So my thought process, if my video is still running, is what are the qualities of a good person and or a bad person, okay? So if you don't want to be a Pharisee, if you don't want to be a perfectionistic Pharisee, because you can be wise but be pharisaical and forget about love and then become like a fool when you make the wrong decision based on superficial elements, okay? So if you want to be a good person without being so superficial, you forget to see what is the reality around you. Okay, one thing you can do is be thankful. Another thing you can do is to not be scornful. Like I said, is the cup half full or half empty, okay? And that's not really scornful. Don't use your conscience to continue to judge other people. Make sure you turn it toward yourself to make good decisions for you so you don't slander or, I won't say offend, but you don't want to be over somebody else's head and fail to look at what you're doing because you need to be aware of what you're doing, okay? So let me see. Okay, so this is just me, so I'm not sure. I might get up and check if my video's still running as I describe to you. That's my chair making noise. As I describe to you the qualities of a good person versus, okay, I have about a minute. So I kind of have an issue with people like, I won't even say it on this video, okay? Okay, if you're a good person, you're going to follow your good intuition. Remember, the blameless person, they're walking a certain way. They're trying to live a certain way. And so it's almost by your intuition. If you're trying to walk blamelessly, you might find the right way, okay? And good people don't want to fight. They don't want to argue. You know, they don't want to hurt other people, bully other people, okay? So in opposition to a good person, a bad person, a person who is either going to be wicked, foolish, or just so perfectionistic is to their detriment. If they're spitefully hurting each other, if they're constantly devising evil schemes against each other, even they don't care if they hurt people to the other person's detriment, okay? And something about stealing other people's powers by trying to take away somebody else's power. You know, you need to focus your attention on what you're doing. Don't try to steal other people's free will rights to be themselves, okay? If somebody else is going to make a choice to eat something, allow them to make that choice. Don't say if you eat such and such, then I'm going to do such and such to you. I don't like it when people make oaths against each other to hurt each other because that's not nice behavior. Don't steal away other people's power, okay? So I don't think I have that much time to speak of anything else, but please be a good person, okay? Walk blameless as much as you can. And forgive others of their shortcomings as much as you would like your shortcomings to be forgiven too, okay? Thank you for listening, watching. Please like, subscribe, share, or comment, okay? Thank you guys. Bye.